I was at the Women's March, so thank you. It was, I think, one of the best days of my life, and I was in the pit of despair a few months before. So I was also one of the people who never really got involved before in my life. So it was a game changer, and maybe I should thank Trump for it. My question to you is, weeks after the election, I got involved with our neighborhood community. We are now 300 women strong just in our town on an online Facebook group where we discuss everything politics and how to make things better, which is brilliant. But it's very difficult to sustain it. So what are your plans and how do you, advise? Because I'm part of that group still and I see that some people are still active and most aren't. So what do you do?
So this is one of my favorite questions that I get asked a lot, actually. How to sustain the work that one is trying to do. And I don't have a magic answer, but I can tell you what has sustained me for the past 10 months. Previous to the Trump administration, I was making movies always around social issues, specifically immigration. Since Donald Trump, I have made one film and am focusing now just really being an activist. So I understand this feeling of just getting started in many ways. And so what I've learned, I remember I was on a train going down to Washington, D.C., and I was reading an article, and there was this woman talking about her resistance and how angry she was, and she was fighting every day, and the question was, how are you going to sustain it for the next 4 years, and ultimately beyond, because it's not just about Trump, it's also beyond. And she said that she didn't know. And I knew that that was problematic. And I asked myself that question, how was I going to sustain this? And the answer came back very clear. You see, we cannot organize out of a place of anger and revenge and even injustice, because that is depleting. That depletes your energy. We need to be organizing out of a place of love. I am organizing every day because I love democracy, because I love freedom, because I love my undocumented brothers and sisters. That is why I am organizing. And love is infinite. Love will actually give me the strength that I need to wake up when I don't want to wake up. It'll actually inspire me to go out and do the work when it seems exhausting and we thought healthcare was finally saved, but lo and behold, it's not. So, you have to focus on love. And you have to find the thing or the things, because that is what intersectionality is the things that you love. And not only to organize for yourself, but to organize for those that are outside of your community. So that's my answer, and that's what you have to grab onto. And when people fall off, it's okay. It's a marathon. And I like to actually say it's a relay race.
Hello.
Hi.
I was one of first-time marcher in Washington, and I will never forget that day for the rest of my life. And I just want to say thank you for your work and for your love and for your passion on this. Your biggest supporter, and you make this place a better world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. As do you. The Women's March couldn't have been without everyone who marched. I like to say that we at the Women's March were the midwives, and the people that marched gave birth. So really, we couldn't have done it without you, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your talk. I enjoyed it. It was tremendous. And I guess as someone who was a 60s activist with the Black student movement, et cetera, one of the things that I really see is a need for a long-term strategy. Because if you read the Wall Street Journal, Trump is amassing millions of dollars toward his reelection. And so in terms of artists, our gatekeepers, we have to bring the civilization along with us. In terms of Betsy DeVos at the Education Department, dealing with educators, dealing with environmentalists, the attacks on, there's no such thing as global warming, remember that, with all the storms. And so what I'm saying is as artists, we can be the key or the top, but we have to bring along these other people, and we have to start raising money on a systematic basis. Because Facebook put out that from Russia, they had 3,000 ads that Russian operatives put pro-Trump on Facebook that they paid for. And so the bottom line, what I'm saying is, how do artists, as the gatekeepers, connect all of these diverse groups, which we're going to need to make a movement that's going to affect change?
Well, I think that's a really big question, and one that I wish I had the easy answer for, but I think it's what I was talking about, that it's about the work that we as artists do. We artists don't necessarily just create for ourselves, or I should say, I don't create for myself. I make a movie because I'm inspired, because I'm moved, because the story needs to be told, but I make it for other people. And I hope that my journey in making that movie is transferred in the final product. And so I think that's what we as artists do. We collect people and move people in both physical space and an energetic space into the funnel, the tunnel that we want them to be working in, and the funnel that we want them to be focusing the issues on, is what I think.
I was in Boston studying last year, and I also joined that kind of march, and that's my first time, because I don't know politics things so much, actually. That's my first time involved in the election, and I'm a photographer. I doing this kind of work in America, so I photographed a lot of women from other countries. They all feel like this kind of things, they all feel very sad, because I feel like women from other countries feel stronger feelings to these elections about America. So my question is I don't know if for as a young artist, how can we involve or find some organizations to really start this kind of what we can do for these things,
So there's many organizations
Thanks.
that you can get involved in. A very easy resource is if you go to the Women's March website, which is womensmarch.com. We actually have all of our partner organizations, which were over 500 organizations. So that's just like a place where you can just go to look for organizations to see how you can get involved. Obviously the Planned Parenthoods, the ACLUs, those are all great and important, but what I like to point people to specifically is to smaller organizations, those that are on the ground doing the frontline work. So, as opposed to going to Planned Parenthood, you can go to a Sister Song or a Latina Institute for Reproductive Rights. Instead of going to ACLU, you can go to CARE, which is specific towards civil rights around the Muslim community. Around immigration, you can go to Define American, or you can go to United We Dream. So really trying to do smaller organizations that are on the ground. And specifically, if you want to be impactful at this very moment right now, healthcare is literally on the line once again. We have until September 30th to save healthcare. Mitch McConnell announced yesterday that he is bringing a vote to the Senate floor on Wednesday. We have seen time and time again how phone calls put pressure and make our senators and congresspeople vote on the line in the way that we want them to. So call senators, pick up that phone. It's very easy to do. It will take you 2 minutes, and there's memes online that you can follow the Women's March, you can follow me on Twitter. We have graphics that give you the telephone number to call and the senators to call, and that is something that is very, very important at this very moment. So thank you all very much.